everybody. This is Carla, and welcome back to the studio. And thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So, since we are now in November, the rest of my Throwback Thursdays, well, up until Christmas, is going to be Christmas and holiday related projects. So for this episode, I'm using the Sweetest Time bundle. It's the photopolymer stamp set along with the coordinating Sweetest borders dies. And hold on one second, I'm bringing this up on my laptop so I could see what I'm doing. Okay, we're good, we got it. So with this bundle, so the cards that I am creating tonight or today are very kind of would say simple cards. There was one that I was going to do, but then when I looked at how much work that was involved in it, then yeah, we decided we're not going to do that one because it just would have been a little too much and we'd be here for way too long. So before we started on our projects, there are a couple of housekeeping things that I would like to bring to your attention. So this started on Wednesday, November 13th, and this is going to carry on until Friday, November 15th of 2024. It is Stampin' Up's seasonal sale. During this sale, you'll save 20% off on the stamp and die bundles along with the stamp and punch bundles. 20% off of designer series paper, 10% off of cardstock, and 10% off of select ink. Now, with the ink, it is the Stampin' Up! Ink pads and the re-inkers. It is not the specialty inks like StazOn and the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It's just the Stampin' Up! Ink, so it's, like I said, it's the ink pads, it's the refills. um, I do have a link for this in the description that will take you directly to the sale page that has everything that is on sale along with the sale price. Again, all of this stuff that is on sale, this is just what's in the 2024-2025 annual catalog. It is not anything that's in our current holiday mini, nor is it anything that we have in our online exclusive. So I just wanted to make mention of that. Also continuing on is the 30% off of all the close to my heart products that are in our online store. In the description, there is a link that will take you to that page. It's 30% off the products that are branded as close to my heart. Now, with a lot of that stuff, it isn't going away. They are just they're just clearing out that product that has the close to my heart on there. Okay, so there's no end date to this. So this is perfect for those of you that love to do scrapbooking. So that's currently going on. Also, this started on, what was this, Monday, November 11th. There's a new paper pumpkin kit. This is a new subscription period that goes on through December 10th. The name of this kit is Notes from the Heart. So there are card bases here that have some scalloped edging. Looks like there's some sparkle gems. And then that looks like some vellum die cuts as well. So this subscription period, it just recently opened on Monday and it goes through December 10th. And also with Paper Pumpkin, they do have a coordinating add-on that that coordinates with, let's see, the October, November, and December kits. Now, these set of dies, you do not need them in order to create the projects and the kits. This is just something additional if you want to do a little bit more crafting, maybe with some of the elements that are still in that kit. So the item number for this is 165639, and they're $12 This is in US dollars. The link is in the description as well. The paper pumpkin, if you would like to subscribe to that, it's paperpumpkin.com. Okay, so with that, that's all I have as far as announcements or the housekeeping stuff to mention. So let's get into our project. So the cards that I'm doing are pretty simple cards. Let's see, where did I put? Let's pull out my parts and pieces here for my first card. So the first one's pretty simple, pretty easy. I did my die cutting ahead of time. So I have a piece of basic white thick. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. I have scored it at 4 1/4. I took a piece of real red cardstock. This measures 5.5, and I cut it to about 3 1/4. I had die cut it using one of the dies in the set of dies. So this one right here, I just kind of lined this up, and there was just a little bit of a border left over. And I just kind of centered this from top to bottom, and then I ran it through and I die cut it out. Okay, and put that back in there. Okay, and then I have a piece of Summer Splash. This measures 4 1/4 by 1. So let me pull out the stamp that I'm going to use for this. I'm going to use the one that says "Wishing You the Sweetest Season." And for this one, I am going to use my Real Red ink. Looks like I did some splattering and got some splatters on the side there. I'm going to have to clean that off. Okay. Nope, I don't want Real Red. We don't want Real Red for this one. We want Shaded Spruce. Okay, let me get my block. And I'm going to stamp my greeting, and I want that centered. Center it like so. Now I'm not going to rock or push really hard because you can see I got some extra ink on there, and I don't want that on my piece. So there we go. We'll set that aside. And I'm going to quickly clean this so that way I don't get ink on anything else. I'm using my Stampin' Scrub to do that. Okay, I'll put that aside, and we'll close this up. All right, let me bring in my bone folder. I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay. And then on this piece here, I'm going to bring in my liquid glue for this. And so on this piece, there's a couple of spots that I do want to hit on this outer edge with these die cut pieces, and then all over here, because I do want these pieces to kind of stick down. So I'm not adding a lot. I'm just adding in a couple of spots just to kind of hold it down. Just doing a little drop. Okay. A little tiny bit there. Whoa, don't want to drop it. It's kind of hard to do this because you can't hold that outer edge. All right, excuse me. So I'm going to line this up on, well, I'm going to try and line this up on the spine of my card base. Kind of make sure that it's lined up straight. I know I got some glue that's oozing out because I can feel it on my fingers. I'm going to press this down and kind of get the glue off my finger. Okay, I'm going to bring in one of my acrylic blocks just to hold that down. Okay. And then for my greeting piece, I'm going to set this aside. Make sure that's pressed down. So on my greeting piece, I'm going to bring in some Scotch tape. And I'm going to bring in the Real Red and White Baker's Twine. This is in our holiday mini catalog. And I'm going to grab a little piece, and on either edge, on either side of my greeting, I'm going to wrap this like 3 times. So I'm going to add a little piece of tape to hold that one end down. And then I'm going to wrap this 3 times. And kind of scooch them all together. And then I'm going to grab another piece. Okay, and then just to hold that down. Okay, and I'm going to get my snips. And I'm going to trim that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this. Kind of scooch these strands together. Okay, grab another little piece. Hold it down like so. Okay, and then we'll snip this end. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And I'm going to add 3 of those on the back of this. Okay. Move the backings. Okay, and then I'll get my block off of there and bring in my card base. And then I'm going to add this right about here. So this is going to line up from one side of the card to the other. Okay, so we'll press that down. And then for my embellishments, I am going to bring in the Real Red and White. What are these? These are the adhesive back peppermints. Now, let me take a quick peek here. I didn't think to check before I decided to start recording. These were on back order for quite a while. When the catalog first went live, they had sold out fairly quickly. They came back in stock, went on back order again, and then they came back. They are definitely one of the more popular embellishments. So I am looking on our inventory status report, and at the time of me recording this, which is the evening of November 13th. This will be posted, this video is posted on the 14th, so early in the morning. So at this point, while I'm talking to you, it looks like that the peppermints are back in stock, and I do not see them on low inventory at the moment. So if you would like these, get on it and order them, because they are definitely one of the more popular embellishments that, like I said, they've gone on back order quite a few times. So I don't know if this embellishment is going to be something that they carry over, like say in our online exclusives or not. If it's really popular, it's possible, maybe. I don't know. I don't have any like insider information on that. But if you really like these embellishments, go to the online store and grab you a couple of packets of it. I think with that being said, I'm definitely going to put in an order and get a couple more of these, because these are really nice embellishments. They're not very thick, so they're perfect for putting on your cards when you're mailing them. So there's 3 different sizes in here, so I'm going to use one of each size, and I'm going to kind of fill those in there like so. And there is our first card. So let me put this aside, and I will bring in my stuff for my second card. So this one, a lot of die cutting was done with this one, and I did a lot, like I said, like with the other one, I can't talk and I apologize. Like the other one, I did a lot of die cutting ahead of time on this. So for this one, let me kind of move all this stuff out of the way. So for my card base, it's a piece of real red cut at 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of basic white. This measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then out of a scrap of Granny Apple Green, now in the set of dies, let me show you with the picture. So in the set of dies, you have these more detailed holly leaf dies. And what they do is they do cut those lines for the veins of it. And then there's also a die that will cut out the solid. And there is a stamp that you can stamp those, and you can die cut those out. So out of the ones with the cuts in them, I had die cut 3 times of the 2 size leaves out of the Granny Apple Green. And then I did the same thing with those dies with Shaded Spruce. So again, there's 3 of the larger ones, 3 of the smaller ones. And then there are these little sprigs of pine. And for these, I die cut 3 in Granny Apple Green and 3 in Shaded Spruce. So I'm going to set those all aside. Okay. Now, I was mentioning about these dies. There's this one here that's another intricate type of die. And originally, I was going to do the card that is featured in, now this bundle was in the 2021 holiday mini catalog. So I was going to case the card sample in there. Now with this particular die, let me show you the picture of it. So they showed it where they die cut this piece twice. So there was the darker green piece, and then out of a lighter green, they had die cut it again, and then took these pieces here that kind of pop out, and they filled them in using the lighter green. Now, I tried die cutting this. Now, I don't know if it's just the cutter that I used that it was a little too much, but um, the die kind of shifted on me, so it didn't die cut very well. Well, when I watched a video online of another demonstrator that had used this back at that time, she said that when she went to make the card, kind of doing that card sample, she said that it did, you know, it wasn't hard, but it was just very time consuming on getting like all those pieces back in there. So instead of taking so much time trying to piece everything, you know, in place, I decided to simplify it by die cutting the leaves and these little pine sprigs, and then I'm going to add them to the card. Okay, so I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, I'm going to set that aside and like put that over there. And then on this piece, I'm going to do some stamping. I'm going to bring in my my Stampin' Pierce mat. Sorry about that, I was turned away from the phone. So this is my Stampin' Pierce mat. This is gonna, since the stamp set is photopolymer, it's gonna help in giving me a nice clean stamped image. Plus it'll be a little bit easier for me to see my white cardstock on top of this white grid paper. So for this one, I'm going to bring in, there is a greeting that says all is calm, all is bright. There are the set of 3 striped candles. And then in this stamp set, there are also 3 of the flames for the candles, but I'm just going to grab one of them. Okay. And then let me get my blocks for these. So I'm going to need the larger block for these candles. And then I'm going to take this longer block here. And I want to make sure that my greeting is going to be straight. So making sure that that's not stuck. So it's, you know, out of whack. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start off with the set of candles. Now for this one, I'm going to bring in my Real Red ink. Okay, ink this up. Now my Real Red is very inky. Okay, so this, I am going to stamp this near, kind of centered and somewhat near the top. I don't want to go too far up because I'm going to put those candle flames on there, but I do want it higher up. Okay, we go with that. I'm going to clean this really quick. Now, red, pink, purple inks, they are going to stain the photopolymers, but if I clean it sooner rather than later, then I kind of minimize that a little bit. So it is clean, so it's good to go when I need it again. That's the thing about photopolymers. Certain colors, they are going to stain, but it doesn't damage the stamp at all. Just as long as you clean it, it's good to go. Okay, then I'm going to bring in Daffodil Delight. And my little flame. So this ink pad is pretty inky. So I'm going to line these up. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. And you can see the little lines on here. That would be the candle wicks. I'm kind of lining it up with that. Okay. And then clean this really quick. All right, and then I'm going to bring in shaded spruce. Okay, I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to center this, but I'm going to stamp it a little bit lower on this base, this basic white panel. Okay, so that's all the stamping. Clean this really quick. All right. So then, you get that out of the way. Okay, so then for all these pieces, I am going to bring in my glue dots. And I'm gonna take all of these leaves and I'm going to put them in the glue dots, and then I'll just take my leaves off of this, make it go a little bit faster. Okay, let's get our darker ones. Okay, and then our little sprigs of pine. And you can't exactly hide the glue dots behind these little pine pieces. Okay, so let me kind of slide this over here. Make sure these are kind of pressed down. Okay, so I am going to start with my larger granny apple green pieces. Hopefully you can see that well. So I'm going to be really gentle on pulling these off, because again, the veins of the holly leaves are cut, so I don't want to tear it. So I'm going to place that one right there. And then my other larger one's going to go over here. And then this one will go down right about there. Okay, and then I'm going to get my larger shaded spruce ones. And we'll place one down there. And this one I'll add right there. Okay, and then this one we'll add there. Okay, so now my smaller ones, I'll add one here. Let's see, we'll put one up here. And this one right down there. Okay, now let's get our shaded spruce ones. And kind of fill this in a little bit. Okay, and put this one right in there. Okay, so now our little pine sprigs here, we've got to be really gentle so we don't tear it. And we're just going to fill this in a little bit. So we'll add this one right there. You see that as I'm pulling these off, I'm out of the view. This one we'll add right there. Okay, and then we got 3 more. Gotta fill these in a little bit. Now with putting these down, the glue dots are exposed, but we are going to cover those up. We're going to add a strip of ribbon over this. Okay. And I'm going to add this one right here. Okay, so we got all those pieces down. Let me roll this all up and kind of get these out of the way. Okay, I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. Okay. And I am going to use, this is the Real Red and Gold dotted ribbon. This you can find in our online exclusives. And then I'm going to take a piece about this long. Okay, kind of get that out of the way. Okay, and then I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this. I'm going to use my seal. And I'm just going to run right along the ribbon. Get the very end here. Okay. Bring this back in. And I'm going to go right across the top of this like so. This one's stuck from my finger. I want to make sure that it's straight before I wrap it around. Okay. So we got that stuck down really well. Make sure that we got it straight. I'm just going to press that down and get the adhesive off my fingers. Okay, we'll get this out of the way. And I'll add some seal to the back here. Okay, and bring in my card base. And there's just going to be a really small red border around my basic white piece. Okay, so I'm going to press that down. And then for my embellishments on this one, I'm going to use the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. So I got like one of the larger ones and the small ones left on this in this package. So I'm going to use, let's see, we got the larger one. I'll stick that right there. And then 2 of the smaller ones. Put those right there like so. Okay, so there is the second card. So again, using that one big die and filling it in with the pieces would have been really time consuming. So I opted to die cut the leaves, the detailed leaves out. Excuse me. And stuck them down using glue dots, and then I just took the ribbon and put it right over there, so now there's no glue dots that are showing through. Okay, so there are our two cards that we made using the Sweetest Time bundle. If you like the projects that I had made for this episode of Throwback Thursday, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment. Share if you would like. All of that does help me in not only growing my YouTube channel, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business. I will be going live tomorrow night, Friday, November 15th. I will be featuring the Sentimental Wishes. It's technically a suite of products that is in our current holiday mini catalog. I go live at 7 p.m. Central Time. I hope that you can join me for that. And again, because it's such a limited time, let me bring this in again. The seasonal sale is currently going on, started Wednesday, November 13th, goes on until Friday at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, so whatever time zone you are, just kind of figure it to what it is to Mountain Time. Okay, again, it's 20% off all stamp and die and stamp and punch bundles, 20% off designer series paper, and then 10% off a cardstock and 10% off of ink. And this is all out of the 2024-2025 annual catalog, and there is a link for it in the description. It'll take you directly to the page online that will show you all the items that are on sale and what the sale price is for them. So thank you so much, everyone, again for joining me for this episode of Throwback Thursday featuring the Sweetest Time bundle of products. And again, I'll be going live right here on my channel at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, featuring the Sentimental Wishes suite of products that is found in our current holiday mini catalog. So I hope you'll join me. Everyone, have a blessed one. Bye bye.